Hey guys, it's Noah here from Audiocube, and today I'm giving you a full demonstration of the software. It's been a bit of a while since I've made a full tutorial, and lots changed since the older videos. In this video I'm going to try and show you everything in the software. I probably forget something, so make sure you also look on the user manual, look back through some of the older videos, and of course download it for yourself at audiocube.app. There's links in the description below. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see is the project screen, after you sign in, of course. This is where you access all your projects. You can just browse them in here. You have a search. You can sort them by A to Z and date. On the left, we have the main controls. This project folder section is where you can choose the folder that on your computer that show where all your saves are located. You can click this one to load, find them in your browser, and you can just use this to use the default location. So this is what AudioCube looks like when you first open the app. And first I'm just going to give you a quick run through of the user interface, and then I'm going to go more in depth on each sub window and feature and device. You can move around with the arrow keys, or W, A, S, and D. All the specific controls in the user manual. You can also have these controls, which you can use with mouse or touchscreen. You can use this to change the perspective. I'm not sure if you can see that. And sort of snap to angles. That's the basic control. You can also see it in the top bit whenever you hover over something, if it has a shortcut. So the main way to access all the windows, I'm just going to hide this for now, is up here. So I'm just going to run you through. Here is the sort of file menu where you can create new projects, open your project, save, open the settings, or exit AudioCube. This one opens the browser panel where you can preview your sounds, import files, go in folders, search. I'm going to explain each of these in full detail after I just show you the overview. Down here you have the MIDI timeline for creating MIDI clips and sequencing devices. This one is the editor for sort of setting parameters and controlling devices. You also have the rack view up here, where you can quickly select and manage devices. And then you can switch through the different editor tabs and activate different panels and stuff. I'll just close these. Next we have the device creator menu. This is where you can just drag and drop the various devices to create them. I'll explain each of these in detail a little bit later. Then we have the terminal, where you can see what's going on under the hood, and also it has a bunch of text commands. If you just type help, you can just read through these, and it just means you can type a bunch of stuff. The shortcut for that is just /. You can see up here it shows shortcuts for stuff if you have enough room. These are all opened with the F keys, etc. Here you can just gives you a quick way to save your project and also show the project name. You just enter, select a folder where you want to save it. But I typically just use the default folder. It just keeps things easy unless you're working from an external hard drive. Then we have the information bar, which just shows you various things that are going on in AudioCube and shows you kind of various stuff. Pretty simple. This is the sort of sound related bar. So you have the master volume. This is a spectral display, so you'll see it sort of displays a waveform. I'm just going to turn the metronome off actually. Mixer, where you have gain, free band EQ, a bunch of effects. You can open up the sub effect controls here, and the mastering rack. Yeah, if you ever find the UI is too big or small, if you just do Command or Control and then plus or minus, you can zoom in and out. This is also an option in the settings menu. Anyway, mixer tab. Then we have the acoustic controls, which is where you can activate the various different spatialization modes and settings. I have some cool things in here, but I'll get to that a bit later. Then the audio range editor, which lets you change the range of your audio sources, so how far they can project their sound. Then we have the recorder window, which is how you capture the output of Audiocube, so you can create a WAV file, which you can then share. Open the recordings folder. I'll show all of these in detail. Camera controls, easy. And then the settings drop down where you can access the main settings window, which has a bunch of stuff. You can save, load, and reset your settings. The visual tab, which is where you can set the graphics quality, change various, let me just show you this, change various settings, like this, turn icons on and off, meshes, spectrums, text tags, so you can kind of customize the way it looks. So just keep everything on. Theme, where you can change your color theme. You can also just cycle through with Command or Control T. You can make custom color themes through the website. I'll make a separate tutorial for that because it's a little bit specific for right now. Let's just go with this one. Help, where you can access some help, and then my account for logging out, and then updates for checking for updates. So that is the main overview. Now let's look at some stuff in more detail. Right, so one of the first things you want to do is import sounds. Obviously you need audio files to enjoy Audiocube. So there's a bunch of different ways of doing that. The first one I'd recommend is just to click the download sample pack. Here you can install the various sample packs. I will be adding more eventually, but there is plenty enough in here to get you started. Just click on one. I'm not going to download them right now because some of them are quite large, but you just click and it should start downloading. Make sure you wait till it's finished downloading before clicking on another one or closing the tab. But yeah, look at these later. Or you can import your own audio files. You can just drag and drop a WAV file into the display. Let me show you this. Let's go. So yeah, if you just grab a file, you can see you can import these, just drop it, and then it'll say successfully imported, and you should see it here. You can do that with multiple files, or if you click here and then go to Cube Library, you can just manage them directly in Finder. So let's just duplicate this, for example, and then you will see backbreak copy here. So that's the main way to import files, is down here. You can a few other shortcuts on this bit just for opening various folders if you want to access your saves or your recordings. Then you can just preview files by clicking through. There's a little preview, etc. You can search here. So let's go kick. And then you can just go back here, but you have to delete that. So if you want to create a sampler, you just drag and drop like this, and that creates a new sampler device. So let's just have a little look at this. yeah, samplers are sort of the main way of sequencing, or they're just one of the main devices. So if you click on it and open up the device editor up here, you can play. You can also press P to play the currently selected sampler, loop it, delete, clone. I mean, everything can also be right-clicked for a bunch of controls. You have, let's loop this, and then gain, attack and decay, the mixer channel to send it to, which corresponds to the mixer on here, pitch, collision, which means that if something collides with it, it will trigger, but this is advanced stuff that you should just have a look at on your own. Then you have the effects, etc. So these effects are built into the device, and then the devices are fed through the mixer channel, where you can then have additional effects. So here I'm just sending it into the echo and reverb. So you get like multi-layered effects. So yeah, effects section, and then just a general transform section for kind of moving things around, and also changing the range. So that's the basics. Let me just... so yeah, the basic sampler, pretty useful. So if you want to create a MIDI sequence from this, what you would do is open up the timeline. So this is one of the newest features. Let's close this and just select the device. Let's put the metronome on and just press space. And then if you just double click, you can create, I mean, this isn't, yeah, particularly nice, but you can, if you hold control click, you can do, it's just a bit smoother. I mean, this is going to be horrible, but yeah, I mean, you get the picture. You can use shift to highlight and to delete all of that. You can zoom in here. It should be fairly familiar. There's going to be a full tutorial specifically for the MIDI timeline on the YouTube channel somewhere soon, so check that out. I'll just leave it there. Yeah, yeah, you can also import a MIDI clip. So let's go back. I have a bunch of MIDI progressions, not sure which are any good, but you can just drag and drop and then it loads them in like so. Let's just click this to snap the view. It's a bit not amazing, but yeah. So yeah, you can also do stuff like change the attack and decay. So if we want to do something really cool, what we can do is enable the automation recording. So now we can create patterns. It's a bit glitchy. I mean, there is a better way of doing it, which I'll show you. So motion editor, and just select the device, open the motion editor, I think there's a full video on this somewhere. It's probably one of the update videos. But yeah, you can select like a circle. A square. So in a case like this, if you want to select it and it's just flying around too much to grab, just click up here and it will select it, and then you can just click stop. Maybe, yeah, delete path. Okay, so that's the basic of samplers. So one of my other favorite devices are emitters. Now what you do with these is, let's show you, you can just drag in a sound like so. I'll go for this, and you just hit space, and it will create a bunch of physic balls, and you can select the notes, the lives. I mean, they're full tutorials for each of these. These default to channel 7. So they can also be sequenced with the MIDI sequencer. Another cool way of sequencing these is with the ticker or logic device. These are sort of advanced generative devices. So tickers are your basic one, which serve as an engine. So what you're going to do is hold Control and then click like this, and this will connect them. These you select a tick time, so let's just go for 2, and then when you press play, you'll see every 2 seconds it sends a trigger. Just stop this, let's do some better notes. Let's go for G. Cool, so yeah, these are like your basic engine. You can just choose a time here, so let's go for 1 second to make it go a bit quicker. So they're pretty cool, but they're even cooler when you connect them with the logic device, which is a sort of generative sequencing device. Comes with a bunch of modes. Check the user manual for the full explanation of each one. My favorite is probably split, which basically will choose a random device that it's connected to trigger it. So with these, just double click to enter connection mode, connect it to these, and click again to exit, and then let's connect this. So what it does is every time this sends a pulse, the logic box will pick one of the connected devices at random. Let's go for something, let's get a symbol. Cool. Let's go for a couple actually. What's this? So if you're not a fan of the grid look, you can just go up here. That makes some people a bit easier to see. Now when you trigger the ticker, so just pick one randomly. connect multiple of these up, you can create more complicated chains. So let's turn this into a chain, and here you can select a chain time. So yeah, this again, I'll probably make a full tutorial because it's pretty complicated stuff, but it opens up a lot of options for generative sequencing, and it's pretty cool. So the next interesting device is the effect zone. Let's just create one of these. These basically apply, any device that's inside will be processed with the chosen effect. So let's create a nice reverb. Let's just go for a preset, stone room, and let's add a bit of echo as well. I think you can also click and drag here to so yeah, you can hear, and then when it's not in it, it's not processing. So let's tweak something in the acoustic engines, because obviously everything in Audiocube is spatialized and depth processed. You might not want that, so I'm going to go down to distance, and if you turn that on, it doesn't matter how far devices are away from you, they will always have an equal volume. So you still get the stereo, but you don't get the depth. So it's good for kind of planning stuff out a bit differently. Yeah, the next thing to look at is probably a sound wall. Let me just stop that. Yeah. So one of the most unique things about Audiocube is its ability to create virtual acoustic spaces and simulate acoustics. I'm just going to hide this. So sound walls basically simulate reflections and occlusion, and you can use them to create custom spaces. So let's just do a little separate demo over here. Let's close this down. So just for demo, let's get a nice break. So yeah, you want to make sure that you have HD spatializer on. Binauralize makes the output binauralized, which gives you a better sense of spatialization over headphones. Occlusion blocks out sounds when they're behind walls. Reflection simulates the sound bouncing off the walls, and then visualize just shows you how the acoustics are being simulated. And then you have a few more options in here, but we'll show you this now. So yeah, when you create a sound wall, you can just move it around like so. Oh yeah, if you hold Alt while moving an object, it changes the way the mouse is interacting, so it's a bit easier to sort of move stuff closer and further away. So let's expand this. Yeah, you can just grab the corners to change, or grab this little handle to rotate. So let's go ahead and play this. So by default, it's just set to spatialize without any of the fun stuff. So I recommend occlusion and reflections. With occlusion, you'll see that when objects disappear behind a wall, I'm working on creating a better, more realistic algorithm for occlusion, which is not far off actually. Reflections simulates the sound bouncing off. You can so yeah, the interesting thing happens when you create full rooms. So let's just knock one of these out. Yeah, it's kind of a work in progress, but it sounds pretty good. I'm working on adding different material types, so you can have like wood, bricks, more muffling materials, just so you get a full range of acoustic options and materials. So that's not too far off. I'm hopefully going to work on that in the next update. So now we have our room. Let's bring this down a bit. Fun to use the visualizer. So yeah, just experiment with that. There's a bunch of cool stuff hidden in there. Audio range is affected by this. So now I think that we have this sort of basic project, you'll be thinking, how do I get sounds out of Audiocube and into other DAWs, or to use just raw? So let's just bring in the effects. I mean, this isn't an amazing composition, but you can do some really cool stuff in it. Yeah, it's like pretty flexible at the minute. So click recorder, then just click start recording, and then it just captures exactly what you're hearing. So I'll capture all this. One other thing actually, if you want to, by default the microphone is attached to the camera, but if you click on this, it changes the microphone as the listening position, which is useful if you want to do stuff like so. Let's do something cool with one of these. So you can get stuff moving around. Let's go random, that's quite fun. So yeah, I mean this is kind of getting a bit crazy, but just to demonstrate what you can do. Yeah, then when you're happy, I mean, yeah, the recording just keeps going on and on. The image display does loop back around like this, but you can see the time here. And then when you're happy, just click stop. And then you'll see, let's stop this. You see your recording up here, and then you can just click export. And here you go. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear this because I have it muted on the Mac recording. Yeah, that has the full recorded file. I think the output recorder is only capturing Audiocube, so you might not hear that in the video. But yeah, that just captures exactly what you hear. So when you're done, you just save your project. Let's go up here. Project, use default, and save. And then you can see it was saved successfully. And then you can just load it or create a new one. And that's it. That's about it. I think I've covered most of the things. There are going to be more detailed individual tutorials for each element. I'm going to try and make more videos, and there is also the user manual online with everything. But I think the best way to explore it is to just download it and try it yourself. Get stuck in at www.audiocube.app. Send me an email or a comment if you have any questions, and enjoy, guys. I'm looking forward to seeing what you make with it. All right, see you in the next one.